Hello everyone! Hi there! And thanks for joining. Welcome to one and all across space and time. It's a happy day. The sun is out, which is amazing. So I never take the sun for granted. So thank you for the sunshine. Yes! Super happy about that. So hello to everyone, to all my friends around the world, sending you lots of love from my heart and soul and spirit. And today is my 1-year anniversary as a vegan. Wow, so for some reason I am really excited and it's really meaningful for me today because, well, it's really a big shift if you're thinking about doing that or if you are aware of what it means to be a vegan. You know, there's so many new diets out there and old diets and whatnot. Before I get started, I want to show you the wonderful cantaloupe melon juice that I just juiced up before we get started because I want to make sure that I've got my sustenance here. So there it is. So that is the cantaloupe juice. And now I'm going to serve it up because that way we'll be able to connect and share a little bit more at peace, at least for me. So if you are taking care of your health, then definitely juices are a great, sidekick. It doesn't mean you're gonna live off of juices alone, because I even thought about doing that for a quick second. And I've been juice fasting for now. Yesterday I did it, so it was my 11th day. But it's been broken down. So this is our cantaloupe juice, and this is approximately 130 calories. So it is really yummy. And as I always say, I really love the foam. So fresh is the best. You can't beat fresh, and maybe for you, you don't have a juicer yet. Well, once upon a time, we also didn't have a juicer, and we got started with a really nice old, cheap one that we had from 10 years ago. And then, then we started to get more into it. I just started to get into it again. So here we are. So basically the topic of today for me to share with you, and my intention is that hopefully if you're thinking about this or you want to learn about it, well, it's a huge area for research, for you to research. Because whenever you're thinking about making any health changes or any dietary shifts that are significant, of course, everyone, doctors will say consult with your physician before you make any changes. You want to check your blood. You want to make sure that your vitamin levels are at least that you know what they are. And thank you to Ahmed. So basically, I decided to become a vegan on February 8th of last year, and I started to document it on social media. Not strictly, I just would take pictures of my food and then I would just write vegan. And this was sort of because it was new to me. So whenever we're doing a new thing in our life, if you want to spice it up, make it more, you want to jazz it up for you, make it meaningful, give your life more meaning, at least for me, then I like to share it. I've been doing that a lot with my juices now. And with whatever's going on in my life. So this is one way that I keep myself motivated. And then I connect with other people around the world who are also going through similar things, so that you realize that you're not alone. There's a community of people out there, and it's a growing community. So why did I become a vegan? I became a vegan because it came to me in a dream. Basically, I had a dream, and you may know that I am a spiritual person. We all are, whatever that means, anyhow. But it came to me in a dream, and I really pay attention to my dreams, especially when they're so vivid and clear and unforgettable. And I still remember that dream, and the dream was basically that I was in some barn of sorts or whatever, but it was like I was underground in sort of what looked like the factory where they process the cows and the beef and the chicken, and I was stuck below the ground, where sort of like the conveyor belt of where after they take the carcass and they cut it up, and then then it was coming down the conveyor belt, and I could see the blood and like the chickens, and it wasn't scary, but it was just like unforgettable, and it was jarring, and I wasn't like, oh my God, like how horrendous, but it was pretty gruesome, and I just, you know, it was just something significant, and I thought like, and prior to that actually, I had been through social media, the YouTube videos I watch and the people that I was following, they would mention, you know, vegan or vegetarian or animal cruelty. And the funny thing is that if you knew me when I was in Dubai, or if you knew me in the past, that I was a huge protein eater because I was going to the gym, wanted to build muscle, and I wanted to get like fit, like one of those sexy like models that like are so fitness and everything. And so my understanding from my research is that you need to eat a lot of protein. And so I would do that. I had egg whites. I had like maybe 6 or more egg whites every day, up until February 7th. And I had like my chicken breast, chicken. I love chicken. I used to have it a lot. Never fried. I never had anything fried at all. But I did have a lot of protein. I had a lot of white fish. I would track my macros. I knew my percentages, and I still have my food diary on MyFitnessPal, so I can look back on that and I could see the percentage of protein was upwards of 40%, up to 50 sometimes, and my carbs were quite low, and my fat was moderate. Because when you're having protein, animal protein, that animal protein has that saturated fat and the cholesterol, which I learned afterwards. So you're going to be having that fat from the animal food sources. And so I just decided, you know, like, maybe it's not such a big deal. I realized it wasn't a big deal for me because I was already having a lot of veggies with my meals. I just didn't have a lot of carbs. I didn't have rice. I didn't have potatoes, beans. I didn't eat bread very much. And if I did have pastries, it was sort of like a splurge. I loved cottage cheese, but I had already stopped consuming dairy about a year before, I think, when I was still in Dubai, because it would make me break out, and then I realized it created mucus, like it would make me feel mucus. So it just wasn't, I gave it up, and it was fine. It was pretty simple. So basically I decided to just shift, and it was pretty significant because, I mean, I used to laugh at vegans. I used to like think like my mom and I would like make jokes about like, oh, we're Colombian, and I'm never like, this is absurd to think that I would be a vegan, me of all people, like, because I just had so much protein and I loved it, and it was part of like my identity. You know, I'm going to the gym, I need to build muscle and have a lot of protein. But I followed my guidance, I heeded the messages of the universe, and I shifted. And it was actually quite simple. And the key is, my friends, like if you're going to make a change, a dietary change, you want to lose weight or get healthier, or you have an autoimmune disease, or you are going through health scares, the key is you're going to have to take out things. Ultimately, something will have to go and be eliminated. At the same time, it's very crucial to replace it. So we need to find substitutes and replacements that are healthful and beneficial, and that will satisfy you in replacement of what you're taking out. Otherwise, you leave a vacuum, and then you're going to miss and desire and even crave the thing that you should be wanting, that you're wanting to avoid. So I basically substituted immediately. Instead of having protein, I decided I could now consume carbs, because I wasn't having the protein. So it's all about your macro proportions too. And I quickly learned that having a lot of carbohydrates does not make you gain weight, and it can even help you lose weight if they are natural sources. So I started having sweet potato, I started having regular potatoes, rice, which I didn't have. I did not allow myself to have rice. I started having beans, plantains, and everything was either boiled or grilled. I did not have anything fried. And that was it. And I started to do it. And if you look at my Instagram from 1 year ago, I have pictures of what I was eating then. It would be tomato, like raw vegetables or cooked vegetables. I was still cooking back then. And so I made the shift. So number one is to substitute. The other thing that's very important is to do your research. You know, like I started to watch a lot of YouTube videos and movies, documentaries on what it is to be a vegan, why veganism is beneficial if you choose it for you, how it actually helps the planet, how it's more sustainable. And you learn a lot about the practices of agriculture and how the agricultural industry is the biggest source of pollution on the planet, how it drains the planet of water because it's so much water is required to sustain cultivating animals for slaughter. So I learned a lot. So do your research. I researched myself, you know, I researched everything and I just got informed. So make your own decisions based on your own research and how it resonates with you and how it vibes with you. That's really important. So the key is to not just take on what other people are telling you to do because they told you. No one told me to become a vegan. No one that I knew was a vegan actually. So, but whatever, like this was my path, so that's what I chose to do. And then after that, you know, it was just really exciting because I was really motivated by the idea of something new, you know, like life keeps evolving. I keep changing. This is new for me. I'm curious to see how it unfolds, but the key is that it really resonated with me spiritually in my heart and soul because I realized that it is beneficial for the planet, for the animals, and I'm not a big animal rights, I'm not an activist, I'm not an activist really for anything. I don't like to force my ideas on anyone. I just believe what I believe and then I share it with you and whomever it resonates with and wants to chat, like that's great. And you know, this is life. We're here to connect and share the joy and the love and the wellness. So my intention is to create more joy and love and harmony in the universe and the planet. So I learned that veganism helps towards that end because how can I be talking about love, joy, and peace and compassion and I'm eating animals? And then you just learn about the health aspects, you know, just logically and rationally. You see that animals, the way that they're raised, beyond it being like labeled inhumane or whatnot. I mean, nowadays, because of modernization and modern agriculture, everything is such at a fast pace that they need to inject the animals with hormones, with antibiotics, and they are raised in conditions that are very harsh. So emotionally, if we accept the premise that animals have feelings too, or that they have energy vibrations, and that what happens to them, whether harmful or sweet and kind, it stays with them. Like if someone hurts you or pinches you or pokes you with a knife, it will hurt you. If someone takes your child or your sister or your brother or your father and mother away from you when you're born, that also hurts. So why do we assume it's not the same for an animal? Like just because they're an animal? Like, but you know, I'm not an animal rights activist and that's a whole other thing. But it's just the compassion, and then over time I started to do more of it. I continued eating that way, and I actually experienced that my stomach felt much better. I hadn't realized that when I was having so much protein before, like by dinner time, like I just felt like uncomfortable. And you know, and the thing is, like, I know that you can do it too. It's just a matter of things that it has to feel right, you know, and don't force it on yourself. When you're ready, you're ready. When it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And when it is a decision that you want to make and that you've chosen for you, then you'll meet people who can like share their experience. You'll feel motivation. And, you know, the key is to ask for help from God and from Spirit, the universe, and your angels to guide you and to support you and help you. And that's what I did. Every day I said, God, if this is your will for me, then I ask for your help and your guidance and the peace and the ease to make these positive changes in my life. And that's what happened. So that is really fundamental, is to ask for help from God, from your higher power. Beyond asking for help from people, this is about you and your personal power. And our personal power comes from God. Thanks, Floro. So those are some key things. Now, I could keep going, but for the purposes of our time together, I will also mention that, like, I live with my family, and they are not at all vegetarian or vegan. And again, we used to laugh at people who are vegetarian or vegan because we're like, well, you know, we do what we do. And so my family, they're Colombian. So in Colombian culture, it's very, like, people are born eating cheese and milk with the coffee, and cows are raised, and of course they're slaughtered. And in that culture, like, even pigs are slaughtered, and it's a celebration. And, you know, they do that when babies get baptized. And it's really, like, funny. I mean, I'm not judging anything or anyone around the world. It's just observations and what is, you know. But this is the culture that I was raised in. So since I was a child, I was raised drinking milk. Like, I was put to bed with formula, and I was put to bed growing up as a baby, as a toddler, drinking Nesquik, which is like my favorite was the strawberry one, the powder. Oh my God, I love that stuff. So this was, yeah, like cheese, mozzarella cheese, and, you know, so it's not just Colombian culture, like, I mean, but in that Latino culture, they have a lot of chicken, a lot of beef, fried pork, and fried, like, fat, and it's just heavily reliant on grains and animal products in their diet, in their intake. So this is what my family, my parents and my brother, they have a lot of dairy and eggs. And but, you know, that's okay, because this was my decision. And the most important thing is that if you are living with people who are not changing their way of eating, and I didn't ask for that, I didn't need that, I didn't want that, because I don't impose my will on anyone else. What I do for me is for me. So to each his own, and I respect my family, I love them, and if that's their path, that's their path, and that's perfect for them, and they need to honor their guidance and their intuition. But the most valuable thing, friends, is when you're doing this, if you're doing this, is to be, you know, the support. Like, they never criticized or judged me. They were very accepting. They were very, like, allowing, you know. It's like, the key is to be, like, if you are living with your family or you're living with people and you're making changes, and a supportive environment is number one. After you make your personal alignment and you're connected to your motivation and your reasons and your God, your faith, because your faith will pull you through everything in life. But yeah, they were very supportive. So the key is, like, you don't need to change other people, because that's impossible. The key is just to be aligned in what you want and in your truth, and then allow others to be who they are, and to not judge or criticize them for doing what they're doing, and just to be on your path and mind your own business and do your thing and do what you have to do, cook your food. And if you live in a supportive household, even one of your household members who does a lot of the cooking might cook for you, you know, from time to time. So help yourself by cooking your food, thinking about what does it take for you to do this? Like, can you look up recipes or whatever it is, you know, like, that is a whole other aspect for you to get involved in. Um, and so it was all right. And when I traveled to Colombia to visit my relatives, at first it was kind of shocking, and everyone was like, oh my God, you're like vegan. Like, but you know, my family, my relatives sort of knew what it is, and it was actually fine. You know, it's like, again, the most important thing is for you to be clear about what you want, who you're about, what you're about, and then what other people will say, that's none of your business, because people will have opinions, so whatever, you know. Whether it's you being a vegan or not, there's going to be something. So just do whatever, to each his own. So you mind your own business, and other people can say whatever they want, and that's it, you know. And the key is that it's so good for your health. It's very beneficial. I started having more carbs, took out the animal fats and proteins, and I lost some weight. Gradually, I lost weight. My digestion was much better. I felt more energy. Another thing is that my yoga practice improved. I became more flexible. It just happened like almost overnight. I'm not kidding. And I didn't do anything more, but I would go to my yoga classes and I was able to do more flexible things. The reason I think for that is because after my research, if you like look up these topics, you realize that when you're consuming a lot of animal protein, even if it's a low-fat diet and it's controlled and healthy, what I was experiencing, that when I stopped that and I became a vegan, I became more flexible. My joints became less inflamed, less achy, and I was able to move more easily. Hence, I became more flexible. So I just saw that the changes in my body. So I had more carbs, and they were healthy, boiled or grilled options. I took out the animal proteins, my carbs went up, like they became 40 to 50% of my diet, which they still are. And I lost weight. So it's not about if you have too many carbs, you gain fat. Like, actually, that's not the case at all. It's all about your macro percentages, your macronutrient percentages. If you're going to do high carb, you need to keep your proteins low. Otherwise, you're going to have excess of glucose in your body, and that's what will stimulate the fat storage. So again, research is key. And I've been looking at nutrition like for over 10 years. Yeah, almost now. I started measuring my food and weighing it when I was 16. So it's been quite a while. So yeah, like nearing 15 years that I've been on this journey. From high protein, I did high fat, and now I am where I am. So pretty much, you know, there are many aspects to this experience. And for now, I just want to celebrate it and honor it, because it's made a lot of positive changes in my life, in my energy, and whether I just have faith that it's enhanced my spiritual connection. And thank you to our new friend PJ. So it's just been really beneficial, and it's also actually, despite the fact that my family still consumes traditional Colombian food, including chicken and eggs and milk, and those are staples in our house, I don't have them. And if you're worried about having cravings because your friends or family are still having their stuff, well, you know, it takes time to adapt, because I will be honest, like, I wasn't a perfect vegan from the beginning. Some days I needed to have a piece of skim cheese, and I did. And then I didn't want to have it again because I felt something weird in my energy, and it just didn't feel right. The energy wasn't right. So, you know, just see how you feel. Now, if I even have like some animal fat, like if I, you know, smell, like if my mother's cooking chicken fat, or I try some of it, it creates gas immediately. From the moment it touches my tongue, my stomach reacts right away. So it's like a huge red flag, like, don't go there. So, you know, but that's fine. And now I don't crave it anymore. For a while, like, I wanted to have some egg, like when my mom would make egg, then it was scrambled and it smelled so delicious, and then I would like, oh, let me have a piece, and I would have it, but then that was it. Yeah, so Colombian food is very much about animal protein. So, the thing is, it takes time. So, you need to give yourself time, be patient, be compassionate. If you have one day, you do it gradually. I'm kind of like an extreme person. Like when I want to make a change, it's like I'm all in, like I'm all or nothing. And that excites me because it's like I can do it, I can take action. But that's me. But if you want to be like moderate, steady, and long is the process. So give yourself time, do it gradually, work yourself up to it. If you want to give it a shot, do one day in the week as a vegan and see what that's like. And that's not really difficult. You just need to know what it entails, and then having the foods that you like that don't include animal protein. If you want to do that, again, I'm not forcing my ideas or opinions on everyone. I just am making the video today to celebrate and honor this wonderful experience, because it was like what I really feel, it was like a message from God. So we're each on our own path. So how long I'll be a vegan, I don't know, because how can I say for the rest of my life? Who knows, right? There are some vegans and then they go back to eating animal. So I don't know what's in the cards, honestly. All I can do is to set my intention to do the very best that's good for my health, for my joy, for a happy and healthy mind, because everything stems from the way we think and from my connection to God. So I just ask for continued guidance and continued help and strength. And if I'm going to be a vegan for the rest of my life, then great. Oh, I think, right? I mean, who really knows? And if I change one day, then that's fine too. But it's working for me so far. So, and then becoming a vegan led me to discovering other natural things, and now I'm making my juices. And a lot of positive changes. So that's pretty much how I'm gonna leave it at today, because I could really go on for like an hour, because there are a lot of aspects to this dietary change. But I will just say in closing that I'm really thankful and I'm really grateful, and I'm really just so in appreciation to life for how far I've come in my health and my body. My intention was not to lose weight or to get lean. It was just to honor my guidance from that dream that I had. And then I had another dream months later about eating raw. So I'm currently eating as a raw vegan, which is a step a little bit more intense and a little bit more extreme. I started this in November. So let's see. I'm also documenting that. I have my calendar. So, this is just exploration and discovery. And it's about asking for help from God. So I ask for help from the universe in all that I do. Continued guidance and continued love from within. And it's working for me. So find what works for you. And it doesn't have to be veganism. It could be vegetarianism, whatever. This is just about being excited and celebrating life. So whatever makes you happy and joyful and makes you happy to be alive and to celebrate your life, then do that. Do what's healthy and good for you. Check in with your heart, check in how it feels, and honor yourself. And as you improve, as you feel better, as you make positive changes in your life, the people around you will benefit for sure. But the key is to do it for yourself, not for them. They can be a motivation, but remember that it's not about sacrificing yourself or becoming a martyr. This is about enjoying your life and being at your best, being at the top of your game. So do your thing and honor your life and celebrate. Let's all just celebrate together. So thank you for joining Cantaloupe Juice. Jennifer checking in and checking out for now. Thanks for joining 1 year as a vegan. let's see. Let's keep going strong with love and light. So big hug to all of you. God bless you. And have a fun and happy life. Enjoy it all, and I will see you next time. And if you have any comments or questions, send them my way. Otherwise, I'll just continue making my videos. Lots of love. Thank you and bye.